The Chreda Foundation was established as a living memorial to Chris and Chreda Dragon. The name Chreda comes from the CHR in Chris and the REDA in Chreda. Chris and Chreda were lifelong upright members of the Salvation Army, and their lives epitomized Christian values. The Chreda Foundation is a charity that seeks to encourage spiritual development, maturity, and leadership qualities in young people. As explained in a vlog posted here in January 2021, this channel was originally set up to promote the foundation. During the pandemic, Chreda's activities have of course been curtailed, but these have now recommenced, and with a number of years having passed since creation of the original Children Are Our Future video, this seems a good time to provide a refresher on Chreda's origins and aims, as well as giving a brief summary of the projects that have been supported to date. For many years, the efforts of young people who set a good example to their elders have been recognized with the phrase, "and a little child shall lead them," much to the annoyance of people like Tim Farley, who explains that the origin of the phrase had a rather different meaning. But these days, it's slightly older young people and teens who are leading the way. For example, as the International Children's Month website says, young people are increasingly becoming involved, advocating and activated for their future planetary conditions. A good example of this, of course, is Greta Thunberg and organizations like the Student Climate Network, as well as individuals such as Bella Lack, Blue Sandford and Genesis Butler. Young people have, of course, been particularly vocal during COP26. Then there are pioneers in the human rights field, like Malala Yousafzai. And almost daily there are reports in the media of children and teens who are raising funds for charity. Even as this video was being produced, the Embark Federation Awards were recognising 108 pupils from 12 Derbyshire schools for their good deeds and community activities. This positive, leadership-oriented, public-spirited attitude within the younger generation is exactly the sort of thing that the Chreda Foundation was set up to foster, and it is very heartening to see such developments. So what's the story behind the Chreda Foundation? In 2005, lifelong Salvationists Chris and Chreda Dragon passed away, Chris on the 15th of January and Chreda on the 1st of September. Chris was born into a Salvation Army family on the 14th of October 1923 in Swanage, Dorset. During the Second World War, he served in the RAF in India and Burma, after which he joined the Bristol Horfield Salvation Army Band. Chreda was born into the Bussell family, also a Salvation Army family, on the 16th of July 1926 in Horfield, Bristol. Chris and Chreda were married at Horfield Corps in 1948. The following year they had their first child, a son, and subsequently had a further son and many years later a daughter. In 1955, the family moved to Woking in Surrey, where they continued their Salvation Army soldiership at the local corps for the next 50 years. Chris became the band secretary and Chreda the primary sergeant and singing company pianist. Advancing years eventually forced them to relinquish their positions, and in Chris's case, years of poor health even brought on early retirement. But they both felt very strongly that we should maintain Christian values, and their lives continued to reflect this. Chris never lost his sense of humour and positive outlook on life, and latterly he became welcome sergeant, offering other members of the congregation regular words of encouragement. Meanwhile, Chreda's great love for young people remained undiminished, and for a number of years she provided modest funds to help send youngsters to junior soldier camps. Right up to the end, confined to a nursing home, she also continued her lifelong practice of evening devotions, with her Bible always at her bedside. When Chris and Chreda were promoted to glory in 2005, the family wanted to do something in their memory that would have a lasting impact. A living memorial that would recognise the lives that they had dedicated to helping others, especially young people, inspired by their Christian values. Using some of the tithe money that the couple had put aside, a charitable organisation, the Chreda Foundation, was created, with the aim of helping young people develop spiritually in the widest possible sense, especially but not exclusively through leisure time activities, to develop their capabilities so that they might grow to full maturity as individuals and members of society. In view of Chris Dragon's special interest in brass bands, the foundation also wanted to encourage young people's interest in music and other performing arts, particularly wherever there was a religious or spiritual element. Recognising Chreda Dragon's efforts to help children attend camps where Christian values were promoted, we set out to identify Salvation Army summer camps that would benefit from our support. We aimed to sponsor attendance at these, as we particularly valued their biblical emphasis. Following a national trawl that focused on areas with a higher than average percentage of financially deprived young people, we received an enthusiastic response from the Salvation Army's South Wales division. Many of the children who attended their summer camps had never before experienced a holiday of any sort. We agreed to meet half the cost of attendance for several young people, with the Salvation Army providing the balance locally. This was a great success, and we have provided similar ongoing support for a number of years. The camps combine fun, adventure, creative activities, and sports with spiritual activities that emphasize building individual self-worth. Although the Salvation Army relinquished responsibility for the events 5 years ago, the hard work and dedication of team members has meant that the project has continued to offer a fun-filled but spiritually edifying experience for a growing band of young people, many of whom have been trained up as leaders for subsequent events. The team actually produced their own video of the 2015 camp, and you can watch this, entitled Adventure Camp 2015, in a subsequent post. Back in 2013, we also ventured into supporting a slightly different kind of event. We were approached by the organisers of a one-day event requesting that we sponsor a number of young ladies' attendance at their Precious conference. This aimed to provide a biblical context to some of the issues faced by women. The attendees we sponsored came from supported living accommodation that specialised in dealing with previous poor life choices, addictive behaviours, self-harm, depression, and the effects or impact of previous abuse or bullying. We were pleased to hear that the spiritual day they enjoyed at the conference had a positive impact, helping them overcome some of their issues and assisting their return to more balanced lives. As you might have gathered from the foregoing, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel, Chreda acts as a small grant-making body, assisting with the funding of existing projects that are consistent with its aims. This has enabled it to effectively leverage its limited funds and absence of personnel other than 3 trustees, with results of which Chris and Chreda Dragon would no doubt be very proud. The trustees welcome informal inquiries from prospective grant recipients. Please note, however, that currently such grants can only be provided within the UK and are likely to be for very modest sums, never in excess of 3 figures. Any such requests will be considered carefully, provided that they fall within Chreda's fairly strict terms of reference. The wider aims of the Foundation include provision of entertainment for seriously ill children and for people of any age with learning disabilities, and supporting recreational and leisure time activities for people with special needs related to youth, age, infirmity or disability, poverty or social and economic circumstances, as well as assisting in the treatment and care of people suffering from illnesses or disabilities or in need of rehabilitation by providing recreational facilities or other services not provided by the state. To date, we've not been able to address these wider aims, as our annual income has always been below £5,000. This also means we've been unable to acquire a charity registration number from the Charities Commission. However, we have registered with HM Revenue and Customs for the purpose of exemption from tax on investment income and for reclaiming gift aid from donations received. As a very small charity, we've thus far been able to keep our total administrative costs to almost nil. In order to avoid attracting future operating costs, the Chreda website mentioned in the video Children Are Our Future, and which was previously available to us without charge, is no longer maintained. But the Foundation continues to promote its activities through a Facebook page where you can find further information, including contact details.